Let's talk about something I think we've all felt. It's this strange, frustrating gap between knowing all the right things to do and actually being the person who does them, especially when things get tough. We're going to call it the integration paradox. So, this all starts with a story about a manager. They've been through months of really intensive leadership training. They knew the models, they understood the psychology, but one day they sat down with their coach and just said this. All that knowledge, all those books and workshops, and in the heat of the moment, it felt like it was all gone. You know that feeling, right? It's called the knowing-doing gap. It's that moment you've practiced something, you've studied it, but when the pressure's on, your brain just hits the eject button and your old habits take over. For this manager, it was incredibly discouraging. So here's what it looked like in real life. The manager is sitting down with a team member, trying to have a good coaching conversation, and boom, instead of asking open questions, they jump in to fix the problem. Instead of staying curious, they get defensive. It was like all that new learning just vanished into thin air. Now, this is where the coach steps in and reframes the whole thing. They say, look, you're not failing. You're just in the middle of the integration paradox. And it's this. There's a huge difference between consciously knowing something, like a concept in a book, and unconsciously embodying it, where it just becomes part of who you are. So to make sense of this struggle, the coach gave the manager a map. Not a map with more theories or more knowledge, but a map of the learning process itself. A way for the manager to figure out, okay, where am I right now on this journey? And this is the map. It's probably familiar to a lot of you. You start at stage 1, where you don't even know what you don't know. Then you hit stage 2, where you suddenly realize, oh, wow, I'm not good at this. Stage 3 is the hard part. You can do it, but it takes all your focus. And finally, stage 4, where it becomes second nature. It's just easy. And the coach points to the map and says, you are right here. Stage 3, the awkward phase. This is the part where it feels clunky and unnatural because you're literally building new pathways in your brain. It's supposed to feel like hard work. And just knowing that, well, it was a huge relief for the manager. But here's where the story takes a really fascinating turn. The coach revealed that the goal wasn't just to get to stage 4 and be done with it. Nope, the real destination, the true prize at the end of this journey, was something much, much deeper. See, the manager was stuck on the idea of perfection, mastering everything right now, without any mistakes. But the coach completely flipped the script. They said the real goal is autonomy, not perfection. Autonomy is about freedom, the freedom to break free from your old programming and just respond authentically to whatever is happening in front of you. And what does autonomy even look like? Well, it breaks down into 3 things. First, awareness, actually seeing reality for what it is, not just what your old biases want you to see. Second, spontaneity, having a choice in how you respond instead of just reacting on autopilot. And finally, intimacy, being able to connect with another person for real without playing games. This quote from the coach is the key. It's the whole mindset shift in one sentence. Forget about being flawless. Just ask yourself, am I heading in the right direction? Am I a little more aware, a little more free than I was last month? That's the real win. Okay, so this all sounds great, right? The manager has a map, they have a new destination, but how do you actually walk the path? How do you get from that clunky, effortful stage 3 to the smooth, natural flow of stage 4? And that's the million-dollar question the manager asks. How do I do it? What's the secret? And the coach's answer wasn't another book or a new theory. It was a practice, a simple, repeatable discipline to turn what you know into who you are. And this is it. It's called self-supervision. It's the engine that drives you from stage 3 to 4. After a tough conversation, you just take 5 minutes. You reflect on what happened. But here's the crucial part. You do it without judgment. You notice what happened, you learn from it, and you think about how to adjust, all without shame or beating yourself up. This is so, so important. When you slip up, and you will, the goal is to treat it like data, not like a final judgment on your character. Get curious about it. There's that old pattern again. I wonder what triggered it. Every mistake becomes a clue, an opportunity to understand yourself just a little bit better. So as the manager started doing this, day in and day out, something big started to shift. The work wasn't really about becoming a better manager anymore. It was about becoming a more conscious, more aware human being. And that consciousness was changing everything. And this is the deep truth the coach shared. You can know all the techniques in the world, but the most powerful tool you have is your own presence, your own level of awareness. Who you are in the room is so much more important than what you know. This completely redefines what success even looks like. It's not about hitting targets, it's about who you are becoming. Are you a person who liberates others instead of controlling them? Who invites them into a conversation instead of demanding things? Who helps them grow instead of draining their energy? That's success. So let's jump forward 6 months. The manager is sitting with a team member who's really struggling. And without thinking about a single framework, without trying to apply a technique, they just lean in and ask a simple, powerful question that comes from a place of pure presence. And in that moment, you see it. All those theories and concepts, they've become invisible. They're just part of the manager's DNA now. The practice of self-reflection, it's become natural. The manager wasn't trying to be a coach anymore. They just were. For the manager, that wasn't an ending. It was a brand new beginning on a lifelong journey of integration. And that really brings the question back to all of us, doesn't it? Where are you on that map from knowing to being? And what's the practice that's going to help you get there?